Okay, I can see the numbers have started to settle down a little bit. So we'll just kick this off. Good morning and thank you for dialing in today. My name is Haifa Khatib. I'm a marketing assistant here at InfoTrack. Welcome to today's webinar, where we'll hear how InfoTrack's award-winning technology can help your firm take the challenge out of moving to digital AP1 submissions. Taking you through today's webinar, I'm delighted to be joined by Bella Fishwick, who is a product manager here at InfoTrack, and they'll be taking us through the process of submitting digital AP1s with InfoTrack. Before we begin the webinar, just a bit of housekeeping. I'm going to be drawing your attention to the Q&A tab, which is located at the bottom of your screen. We will be running a Q&A at the end of the session, so please type any questions you might have for Bella, along with your name, into the Q&A box. That way, if we run out of time or if your question requires further clarification, we can extract your information and follow up with you directly after the webinar. I'm now going to hand you over to Bella. Bella, thank you.
Great, thanks Haifa. So as mentioned, I'm Bella and I'm a product manager here at InfoTrack, and I'm currently looking after our land registry products. And so with that obviously includes AP1s as well, and I'm responsible for managing and improving the products, such as adding new features. And so I'm just going to turn my camera off as I go through the presentation. In today's webinar, I'm going to cover firstly, a brief introduction and overview of our solution, and I'll then explain how we can support your transition to digital AP1s. I'll then go over what our clients like about the solution and what you need to consider when moving to a new digital AP1 solution. Next, I'll show you our digital AP1 in action, from easy and quick submissions using a single form and pre-population from your matter, to general AP1 management like responding to requisitions. And finally, we'll finish with a Q&A if there are any further questions. Great, so here at InfoTrack, we've been offering digital AP1s since 2016. Throughout this time, we've helped over 1,000 firms submit their AP1s, which is roughly around 750,000 submissions. As you can see from this slide here, we've had some really good feedback on our solution and how it has helped our users. This includes aiding their submissions and AP1 management, as well as their queries being dealt with quickly and swiftly by our account managers and help desk team. So why is InfoTrack the best solution for you? The first thing would be our experience. As I just mentioned, AP1s have been available on our platform for 6 years. Throughout this time, we've been able to experience and see what works for our solution and our clients. And as a result, we've made hundreds of updates and improvements to optimize our AP1 submissions. And these updates are always based on our users and their feedback. However, we also work closely with the land registry to ensure any changes are approved by them. So next, our software is easy to use. We've designed it to be simple and user-friendly, with a single page form on submission, added in validations, and easy management tools such as our requisition dashboard. And all of the benefits of our platform are shown in our evidence. So we can see that on average, our clients' requisitions can be reduced by up to 30%, which is obviously a huge benefit for our users, saving them both time and reducing delays. And we're also Land Registry's biggest user and key business partner. So what do our client think matters? The first thing would be dashboards. So dashboards are commonly referred to as a key benefit, as they allow full firm visibility and control of all matters, meaning there's no barriers if you have to pick up a colleague's file. Better access to caseworkers. We have a message functionality which allows firms to liaise with their caseworker directly via a WhatsApp style chat. And then finally, the presence of proper integrations. As you can see on the slide here, we have a number of case management systems that we integrate with. Our integrations allow us to pull information from the relevant file on your case management system to pre-populate our forms. This means there's no need for duplicating information which has already been added to your file. Once submitted, we can then return these forms back into your case management system, and this is done automatically to remove any further manual steps for you and also ensure everything is shown in the correct place. So just before I go on to our solution and showing it in action, I'll quickly go over what to look out for in the demo. So number one is integrations. How can we support data population through integrations and save you time? Number two is our validations. I did previously mention this, but we've added several validations to reduce mistakes and prevent incorrect information being submitted, which also helps improve the accuracy of your applications. And then lastly, number three is requisitions. So how can we help manage requisitions and your applications as well? Great, so I'll just now switch over to our InfoTrack platform to start walking through our AP1. So there's two ways that you can access the platform. The first is via an integrated case management system, and you'd come into InfoTrack via the file on your case management system. This will allow data to populate from the file into InfoTrack, preventing rekeying information which you've already inputted into the file, and it will also help mitigate the risk of incorrect information in the AP1. The second way is to access InfoTrack via the website, which is what I've done today. And this will still allow for that data population. However, the population will come from other InfoTrack products that have been ordered on the matter, such as the SDLT, which is over here. So this is our InfoTrack dashboard, and as you can see, it will be where all your existing orders will show. And this is the matter I'm using today. And you can see that I've already ordered products on the matter. So for example, the conveyancing search is here. I've got my title documents here and my SDLT files there as well. And again, these products that I've ordered will allow the population into my AP1. So our AP1, it sits under the post-completion workflow, which is just here, and it sits beneath the SDLT. However, you can also access it via your matter, which I'll do today. So it's just under here, and I'll click into it so that we can upload the AP1 form. So once in the AP1 form, you can see that some details will have already been populated for me. We've got the matter reference in the top here, and this allows information from that specific file to be added into the AP1 form. So depending on the orders that have already been placed on the matter, or whether you're using a case management system, we can populate up to 90% of the form. And so I'll just go through and we can start completing the missing information with the registration type first, and I'll add that to dealing. Here you can see we've populated the title information from the matter. You can also add additional title numbers here if you need to. And if you click into the title and out, we'll verify that title number for you and show the relevant address, which will reduce the risk of cancellation, obviously due to an incorrect title number being used. All the required fields have a red asterisk here, as you can see as well, again, preventing submission with missing information. And we've also been able to populate the local authority here and the postcode here as well, so we can move straight to the priority application section. So here you need to select the relevant applications you'll be registering. The drop-down menu here shows all of the available forms, which we've organised into multiple forms and common forms here. So this is to save you time, making it easier and quicker as well to pick the more frequent applications without having to go through and adding them individually. However, we also have other forms down below. So if you're submitting any other application or maybe a more complex application, such as staircasing or a TR5, then you can just go into this section and find them there. For today's demo, I'm just going to select a discharged transfer and charge. Once the forms show in the priority order, you can see here we've got the discharge, transfer and charge in that correct priority, but if you did need to, you can drag and drop to swap the priority order there. And here you can see more validations, such as the mandatory electronically signed question. So we integrate with our Sign It for Ds product, and we build the integration to ensure you have met the Practice Guide 82 requirements and uploaded the conveyancer certificate. So if you just look here on the left-hand side, once I switch this to yes as being electronically signed, we automatically look for and upload your conveyancer certificate into the supporting documents, just again to reduce those requisitions. Let's put that back to no. And then here you can upload your documents. And for those integrated, you can import the files directly from your matter in your case management system. On the right-hand side here, we also have AP1 Guidance, which will help new users, for instance, and help reduce those requisitions as well. So as I move down, we have the land registry fee section. You can see the fee has automatically been calculated using the value entered from my SDLT submission. Again, this saves time as it prevents you from leaving the page to use a separate calculator. Under the supporting documents, we've also automatically uploaded our SDLT5, so you don't have to manually do that yourself, and also it would reduce any requisitions for missing information. So the next few sections make up what is panel 13 in the paper AP1 form, and we've split these into 3 easy-to-use sections. And so that's the applicant section, the proprietor section, and the other party section. So I'll just go to our applicant section first. Under applicants and applicant lenders, you can see we've populated the purchaser from the SDLT. We're also able to start associating roles for the parties. So for example, we've given them a transferee role and a borrower role because we know that I have put in before that there is a charge and a transfer as well. However, if you did need to give them an additional role, you can use the drop down here, and we have other roles in there as well, for example, power of attorney or third party. So all that's left to do now is add the applicant lender. I can start typing in here, and as you'll see, we populate the lender with the address of service as well. Again, meaning you don't have to kind of go out of the screen and check those details. We'll populate that for you. Next is the lodging conveyancer. So again, it's been pre-populated because I'm obviously logged into my account, but if you did need to, you can use the drop down there to change the lodging conveyancer. For example, if your process is for support staff to create the AP1 and for the conveyancer to then lodge it. Now I'm going to move on to the proprietors section. So again, we're able to populate their names and also their conveyancer from the SDLT, and we've given them roles based on the discharge and transfer. So that's the borrower and transferor roles there. So all I need to do in this section is again add a lender, obviously for the discharge this time. I'm just going to populate that there. And I'll also show you, so if you did need to add a new conveyancer, you can do that here. And again, if you start typing, we'll populate the relevant details, the address in there, so you don't have to do it yourself. So I'm now just going to go down to our associate application section. Obviously, if you did need to, we've got the other party section here for any third parties. But onto the associate application section. So this is where we need to review the applications and parties and confirm that they're correct. And because this is a smart form, we've been able to complete this section based on the information already added into the AP1. So for example, we've got the borrower and lender for the discharge, your transferee and transferor for the transfer, and then the borrower and lender for the new charge as well. This section obviously looks slightly different to the paper form, but we designed it to ensure that even those with less experience, so for example, new starters, can use our AP1 and easily see the parties and the applications they relate to. Just moving down now, we obviously have the registered address. You can pick from the relevant drop down, and we also allow you to manually enter that. And we've got the disclosable interest, which we default to no, but you can change that if necessary. And here we have our LMS integration. So you can select your relevant LMS case number, and we can then automatically upload the AP1 submission receipt and the completion document as well into the conveyancer zone, meaning that there's no need for you to manually do this. Our notes section here as well allows for full form flexibility. So you can add any additional notes for the land registry and they'll accompany your application. We've got the credentials section here where you can add your land registry credentials. We only ask for those to be added in once, and that's how your AP1 is submitted. And sorry, just briefly back to the notes section, we also have our MRO1 lodgement software, so we can populate the certificate wording straight into that notes section if needed. And then finally, we have the option to add an additional party to receive requisitions and confirmations of the application as well. And down at the bottom right-hand corner, we've got the save and print option here. So you can save your AP1 and review it at a different time. And there's obviously the overview on the left-hand side here, so you can obviously see everything that's been put into that application and check that through. At the top right as well, we have our FAQs. So this is where you'd go if you need to check any common questions and the answers for them there, and you can easily type those in as well. So for example, registration type, you can type that in there. It should kind of pull up anything that will, here we go as well, the power of attorney there, a common one. Great, so that's everything in terms of the AP1 form. I'm now just going to go to our AP1 dashboard. And that's down the left-hand side here. So we know managing submissions and requisitions are integral to all law firms, and we've built our AP1 dashboard to give full visibility and easy management. In here, you can filter applications by user as well as AP1 status. So for example, in progress applications, we'll filter them there. We also have the export option here, so you can download all those applications into a CSV file. I'll just go into an AP1 that has an outstanding requisition so I can show you how our dashboard works. So on the left-hand side here is where everything on that particular file would be. So you'd see any other searches that have been ordered, keeping it all in one place. And then on the right-hand side here is our chat function where you can contact your caseworker. We've also built in some handy functions such as the ability to acknowledge a requisition. So that's here, you can acknowledge it, and then you can leave an internal note as well. For example, if you want to let your colleague know that you're dealing with a particular requisition. Moving on, we've got the respond to requisition option here. So we've got the structured responses at the top. So you can tick those in, and we know obviously panel 13 is commonly raised for requisition. So we pre-populate a requisition amendment request here, which you can obviously add to if needed. If not though, we've got the message box here, which is a free type box, so you can send anything else to your caseworker that you may need to. And then we have the request HMLR action as well. So these are pre-populated requests. For example, I'd like an update, you pop that in, we give any further details that we need. And again, we can send that straight to the caseworker and they'll be able to respond back. Back to the dashboard, we have the day list here as well, so you can see your application against any other in progress applications, and we've got all related files here. So this is where any files for this particular application would be, and they'll also populate back if you're using a case management system. And then finally, we have the calendar on the right-hand side here. So this allows you to keep tracks of your AP1s, but also OS priorities as well. So you can kind of see any cancellations or expiring OS priority searches too. And then finally, we have our help desk number at the top. So that's just over here. And you can give them a call if you did ever need help with submission or using InfoTrack. Always free to speak to someone, and they've got AP1 experts there as well. So they'll obviously be able to help you with your AP1s and anything else on InfoTrack. So that's everything in regards to the demo. Just to recap, I'll go over what we've covered. So we've gone through how to complete an AP1 as a single page on InfoTrack, how 90% of your AP1 is pre-populated with data mapped from your matter, how to use our AP1 dashboard and to stay on top of all your submissions firm-wide, including contacting your caseworker directly, and how you and your firm can benefit from InfoTrack's digital AP1 software and post-completion software. Great, so that's everything from me. I'll now pass you back to Haifa for any further questions.
Thank you, Bella. So we're just going to jump straight into the Q&A now. I can see we've had a few questions, and just a reminder, if you do have any more questions, please do submit them into the Q&A box. Some of these questions are commonly asked questions, so we're just going to run through them really quickly. Am I limited in the type of applications I can submit?
No, so you're not limited. We have a range of applications with InfoTrack, so you just go through and pick obviously the one you want or the most relevant application.
Perfect, thank you. The next question we have here is, can I cancel an application via InfoTrack?
Yeah, so on the request HMLR action button, you can quickly request a cancellation, and that goes through to your caseworker, and they'll be able to see that cancellation and cancel your application when they pick it up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Do I need to lodge a paper AP1 form also?
No, so you don't need to lodge that. What we do on InfoTrack is we capture all of that information electronically and then send the data to the land registry in an electronic format.
Perfect, thank you. Another question we have here is, how is the SDLT5 / LLT added for AP1s?
Yeah, so we have the SDLT5, you can submit that via InfoTrack, and once submitted, it will be on your matter, so that will kind of automatically populate and upload into your AP1.
Perfect, thank you. Regarding the day list feature, it doesn't appear you can print this. For example, if we need to provide evidence to a lender that the application is still pending.
Yeah, so we have a day list option as well via our land registry tab. And if you go into that, we do have the option to export that information. So again, you can look up the title number and then just export that into an Excel or CSV file.
Okay, and then once it's in that format, you can just print it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and then obviously from there, you can print it yourself.
Wonderful, thank you. The next question we have here is one user able to create an AP1 draft and another user able to submit the application?
Yeah, so once a draft's created, any other user on the same account can kind of go in via their own InfoTrack account and view that AP1 to edit, review, and submit.
Okay, thank you. And then a follow-up question from one of the last questions we had on the SDLT5 is, how is the SDLT5 submitted through InfoTrack?
Yeah, so on the workflow, just above where the AP1 was, we've got the SDLT option, and that will take you to an SDLT form, which you fill out as you kind of normally would with HMRC, and you just submit that. It goes directly to HMRC, so we actually integrate with them. It goes directly to HMRC, and you'll have your SDLT5 automatically returned to your InfoTrack account.
Thanks, Bella. I hope that answers the question. If you do need more clarification, then it's okay. You can submit another question, or we can take it offline as well. Can I cancel an application via InfoTrack? I think.
Yeah, again, you just request that via your AP1 requisition dashboard, the chat style function. You can request that and your caseworker can cancel it.
Perfect, thank you. I believe that's all the questions we have today. Okay, thank you. I would like to say a big thank you to Bella for joining us, and I hope everyone found this session helpful and informative. If you do have any other questions about anything you've learned today, then please either contact us by telephone or reach out to your account manager using the details on the screen. And then they will be able to assist you. This session is being recorded, so we will send you a copy the following day so that you can refer back to it. All that's left to say now is thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you, Bella.
Thank you very much.